So I'm super excited to be able to tell you that finally Google Classroom has a originality report feature integrated directly into Google Classroom. Now you do have to sign up for the beta part of it, and it took me a few days to get accepted into the beta. And there have been other beta products before that I haven't had access to. So I don't know if they just give everybody who requests it access, but I'll give you those links to get it. So hopefully everybody will be able to play around with and start using this feature sooner than later. So I did fumble around with it a little bit and found out some of the things. I was just going to, and I recorded that video and was just going to go with it, but I think I have some things figured out now. So I'm going to kind of use what I've already created a little bit to show you how some of those features work. Okay, so I'm in my classroom here, and I am going to go ahead and delete what I just did so I don't get confused, which is easily done for me. And so I'm going to delete that. And then, okay, so I'm going to go to create an assignment. And just like you would do any Google Classroom assignment, and I'm going to call this sample or plagiarism check, just so I know what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to click on originality reports. The rubric is a separate new beta feature, and I will check that out and report back on what that does as well. I'm going to leave the students some instructions. Please upload your Google Doc for this assignment. Okay. And then give a due date and topic if I want. And then they have to be the owner of the document. So I don't think if you create a document there, you're gonna be the owner. I think even still when you assign one to each student, you're still the owner. So I don't think, unfortunately, it's gonna be able to work that way. I think they have to add their own Google Doc. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit assign for this, but I don't want all my students to see this because I'm just going to give this to one of my students, my sample student. And then I'm going to assign it. And then I'm going to log off as myself. And then I'm going to try to log in as a student. Sometimes it gets confused between the accounts, but okay. So this is what student sees on their end. And so they're going to see my assignment, my sample plagiarism check, and they're going to click on it, and they're going to see they can add their own assignment, their own document here. And so what I did when I was trying to see if this would work, I was going to do this on the fly, but I want to clean this up a little bit. So I'm going to have them upload something from their drive, or they can create something new. In the first one, I wrote a paragraph just about, why I was doing this and what Google Classroom does to check to make sure they're doing their own work. And then in the second one, I more or less cut and pasted it from somewhere. And then in this paragraph, I summarized it in my own words. And then this one I took from a PDF online. So when I do the originality reports, you'll see where I got those from. And they did work out to be exactly where I pulled those from. All right, I'm going to change this to student paper, whatever I want to call it. It's fine. If I could spell. All right, so that's done. And then I am going to turn that in. I have too much going on here. Let me close these. So I am going to add my document from my drive. And as the student, I have a chance to look at the originality report 3 times. And so I'm going to run my first originality report, and it will tell you off to the side here that it's running and how long it takes. It's pretty quick. I mean, it's just a few paragraphs, but it doesn't take longer than a minute or so. And I'm going to view my originality report and hope for the best. Oh, it's got 3 flag passages out of the 4. And so you can see the percentage if you click on this. So this is what the student sees. And I'm going to have to play around with how cited content looks. How does it recognize citations? I understand how it recognizes quotes, but a cited passage, I want to see, how that comes out. So I'll play with that maybe in a separate segment here. All right, so it has a couple passages, and it tells you where it came from, and you could click on the link, and it will tell you where it got that from. Oh, sure enough, that's where I got that from. So obviously that's plagiarized, and that's obviously a problem. So, and then the next passage, is going to be showing me this one here, which is the part of the same paragraph. And it's, I changed a few words here and there, and it shows them change, but not enough that would be considered to be my own paraphrasing or my own words. And then it will also, this last one was word for word, so there was no change in there. So that's where, it's coming up as being like, this is showing you that it's very, very similar, and this is showing you that it's exactly the same. So what I can do is oh shoot, I didn't mean to do that. I better fix this up, and then I can edit it. So I can I'm gonna change this around a little bit, and I could say something like ideas about the endosymbiotic nature of eukaryotic cell evolution have been around for nearly 100 years. In this theory, I'm not going to change it a lot right now because I want to save some time. In this theory, evidence suggests that chloroplasts and mitochondria evolved by being engulfed by larger host cells. All right, so I'm going to read this. Genetic, and paraphrase it, evidence is congruent with the physiological and structural features that prokaryotes share with chloroplasts and mitochondria. All right, I'm going to use that as a separate paragraph because I did paraphrase that one pretty well. So, and then this one should come back as being exact. Maybe I'll throw a few synonyms in here. And you'll see that it should come up as still being very, very similar. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and go back to turn in, and turn that in. And I could run another originality report if I want to, but I'm not going to. I'm going to show you what this looks like on the teacher end. So the student has submitted their work. So they're at the read only level if they go to open it. I'm going to sign this student out, and I'm going to sign back in as myself, and we'll see what it looks like on my end. Okay, so that student was in 10th period, and there's their work, and they've turned it in. And it's going to tell me automatically, because I have the plagiarism checker set on already. It's going to automatically tell me there's 3 flag passages. So I'm going to look at this, and okay, so that one's not flagged. This one's not flagged, and this one there's not anything flagged anymore, and this one only very little got changed. So originally I had about 67-70% because I had already tweaked it a little bit. Were similar, and now it's 50%, so it's getting down there. But obviously there's still many issues with this paper. I was just doing it as an example. What's cool is that you can see the sources where they came from. So this last one was directly from a PDF. So it's not just a website that it checks. It checks all different things that are available. So if I click on that, you could see that it was a PDF document, but it was definitely a scholarly resource. Okay, so that's how it essentially works, and of course we'll be following our our whatever we do in our classroom when we have these things happen. I mean, I think the best thing is we can educate the students on, you have 3 chances to look at your paper. Obviously, we're going to be looking at it, and, what the consequences are for those incidents according to the handbook.